Welcome everybody to Age of Radio Mercury. Turbo, you made it on time.
I did.
I'm so excited.
I don't know how, but I did.
I was also too. If you didn't make it, it wasn't like that. It's like just come into the show. It doesn't matter. We don't know half the time. Everybody, welcome to Age of Radio Mercury. My name is Jeremy Quintanilla, the co-founder of Age of Radio and the host of Age of Radio Mercury, your home for podcasting and other pop culture news. And it is the last Friday of the month. So you know what that means. That means as long as everything goes as planned, Danielle will be coming in here. I should probably keep an eye on the message one. She's not in Messenger. I don't know where I should be keeping an eye. Maybe on my text messages. But Danielle will be coming in, and we will be continuing our journey through EVA foam, randomly talking about things that I care about and cosplay people care about. Everyone else in the world, I'm not sure. But we're working on other foam segments. But before we do that, let's see how our co-hosts are doing. We have, as always, my main co-host, creator Trey. Trey, how are you, sir? How has your week been?
My week's been incredible, actually. I got a new microphone, as you guys can see and hopefully hear. And I built an app.
You built the whole app?
Yeah, I built an app. I built a... it's funny because it's going to relate to something that you're going to talk about later. I built an app. I'm calling it Scriptate. I'm going to have to save up some money so that I can get it published on the App Store. It is a audio teleprompter.
Let me know what money you need.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, it's all for the show. You can talk about it on the show, play with it on the show. The money and the app.
It's an audio thing, so it uses Apple Intelligence to turn your script into cues. So like on public speaking, when you take those classes, they often suggest you write your speeches down as like cues for the lines. Mm-hmm. And it'll read those cues for you, and you can go back and forth between them and record them as many times as you need to.
So Trey,
it'll read them to you.
Did you make this? Did you code it did you vibe code this? Did you use AI to code it? Was it a mixture of vibe coding and AI coding?
It was vibe coding completely. I used Codex the entire way through.
Did you enjoy it? Was it good?
It was really fun. And it's just the kind of, so it depends on the project size. On the larger projects, it's going to be a lot harder to do just vibe code, but it works.
Did it work because of the fact that, is it easier? Oh, did I mess it all up, Thermo, by changing?
No, you're good. I can rotate it. Hang on.
Well, I want to see what happens when I move it back. Yeah, that's perfect. We're good. I don't know what I might do this every once in a while. I might do this. I don't know. I'm testing a bunch of stuff out to see what happens. I also got a teleprompter, but I'll talk about that in a second because I don't know how much of an S show this is going to be today with me trying to use the teleprompter to read everything because the screen's now really tiny. Anyway, point is, so Trey, let me ask you a question. Being hard of seeing, was it easier to maybe code? Because you've done other coding where you've actually banged out the full code, right?
Oh yeah. So it's less a thing of me being able to code. It's more a thing of the documentation. If I try to read documentation, it takes me forever.
Correct.
So I'm not gonna say that you shouldn't code, but it takes me a long time. So this was a lot simpler and easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm excited to see what you made and to talk more about AI. And I'd love to learn more about your TikTok experience about your headphones. But we'll talk about that maybe at another time because you've been going hard on the TikTok show. Is that true?
I have, yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that maybe a little bit later or in another episode. I want to get over to Thermo because Thermo was able to join us today. Thermo, how was your week? And do you have anything exciting going on and coming up?
My week was very busy. I work in information security, and there's a lot going on right now. And I am working on my costume from the Arcane for the WonderCon Masquerade because Jinx and I were officially accepted. So I'm going to be audio mixing next week. I'm even taking a day off work next week to work and hopefully get 90% done with the outfit so that I don't have to feel as rushed building the stage prop.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit. So you guys are going to go, so we're going to WonderCon too. Myself and Dustin are coming to WonderCon. And we're going to run and gun the entire show. We bought a whole new device to run the stream through a different device. We also bought a stupid backpack for Dustin to wear so he looks more ridiculous.
It's heavy, so he needs to have a little backpack.
I know. Well, because he's not only going to be holding like how we're going to do the camera, he's also going to be holding the cellular bonder that we have, which I forgot the name of it.
Are you going to carry a pineapple? Are you running around with a pineapple?
Yeah, I would love to run around with a pineapple.
No. Do you know what I mean? What a pineapple is? A pineapple is like, it's like a series of like radio and Wi-Fi and all kinds of like signal transponders.
Kind of it is. Technically we are, because we're going to try to do at least up to 5 cellular signals to the. I wish I love this device and I can't remember the name of it. But anyway,
I bet it's a pineapple.
We're gonna call the cellular bonder a pineapple now. Okay, so but anyways, we're gonna do that, and then it's gonna go into a different connection that's gonna run an HDMI out to the iPhone, because we're gonna test it to see if we can do the whole thing with the iPhone. So I'm not sure exactly what's gonna happen, but we're gonna be able to record and we're gonna live stream you guys up on stage. So that's gonna be really cool.
That's wild. I don't know if I know that they're pretty strict on like video and stuff in the costume contest. So be careful how you do that. I think you can just like, I don't think you can have any lights on and you can't have microphones, but I think you could have like a recording, like you can record people performing, because I've seen lots of people on their cell phones, but no flash is allowed.
So the question though is, Thermo, are you going to be able to take work off to come to Disneyland with us on Monday?
No.
Darn it.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm going to be off work on Monday. So like I'm going to be off work on Monday, but Jessica, Ann, and I are all driving out together. So like if that happened, we could probably only do like a half day there. But even then I'd have to see if I can budget that, because I budget 6 months in advance. So.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I just randomly was like, oh no, we have to get the hotel for so many more people now, because Dustin's going to bring Deb to help out. And then I'm bringing.
No, when I said that, I was like, I can't extend anything because everything was booked out.
Oh yeah, it was rough. I had to go through my other Hilton thing, but I got it at the Hilton that's right there.
We ended up switching hotels to the Portofino because there's only 6 of us now. We were able to get one. So the Portofino's right in front of the Sheraton that the Hilton's connected to. Oh, so nice. We'll be around the corner from each other now.
Nice. It's going to be awesome. So guys, if you are interested in these types of things, make sure that you check out WonderCon, which is actually owned by the same company that owns San Diego Comic-Con, from my understanding. And so if you're interested in that, so I guess Thermo, since I have you on here real quick for like 2-minute spiel, what's the difference between San Diego Comic-Con and WonderCon?
So WonderCon is a lot smaller event. It's more cosplay focused, more intimate. There's a lot more, like there aren't as many panels, but the rooms are bigger that the panels are presented in. So the likelihood of you having to wait out in line is a lot lower. It's also more intimate to meet celebrities with. Like you can approach their table a lot easier. And it is known as the cosplay photo and video convention. You go outside. A lot of people I've seen not even enter the exhibitor hall because they spent all day long networking with people outside. It's really relaxed, very chill. San Diego is 6 blocks of chaos. It's 250,000 people, and it's every neurodivergent's worst nightmare.
It sounds horrible. I said it's amazing, but it sounds. That's the reason why I don't go to San Diego Comic-Con, because even when we were in that little hallway in UwuCon, and I was trying to walk through.
That's changing this year, by the way. Since we just had our first UWU meeting, I can't say a lot, but I'm going to say we're not going to be in a hallway this year.
Nice. I'm really excited about that. But so if you like it, check out WonderCon. It's March 27th, 28th, and 29th in the Anaheim Convention Center. If you're there, come and check us out. We'll be running around, and we'll also be going to Disneyland on Monday and Tuesday. And because Dustin will be with me, I'm sure I will have him try to do stupid stuff at Disneyland. So I'm really excited about that as well, which means, though, that this is going to help us set up to do more running and gunning type of content. Like I'd love to get to podcasting NYC, which we're going to talk a little bit about if we make it to one of those articles.
Are you ever going to come to any of the Fallout conventions?
And I'm going to come to the Fallout convention.
Mojave Mayhem or Wasteland Jamboree? Which one?
I'm going to try to get to all of them. I need to figure this one piece out so I don't have to buy tables everywhere. But also on Game On, the 13th, 14th, and 15th, we're going to have a 10 by 20 foot booth at Game On Expo. And if everything works out well, I'm trying to get some of the special guests that they've paid to have there, such as Final Fantasy characters, their voice. I'm going to try to get some of the voice actors to come and sit down with us and have some interviews as well. And then also, since the gang of Mercury is just growing, I'm going to try to get everybody somehow together so we can all take pictures together so that we can start doing more ads with all of our beautiful faces. But that being said, getting into some of today's news before Danielle gets here. Hopefully Danielle is still going to be able to make it. I did check with her this week, and she said she was, but I haven't heard from her today. But either way, we still have a lot of news in store. But before we get to that news, I have a teleprompter now, and I have a backlight. So there's all kinds of weird stuff in this room. Like, this room has so much fire hazard going on right now.
I'm just using my cell phone because I was so busy that I just jumped on my cell phone.
You look amazing. I have so much light. There's light behind me. I have this microphone, which Joey told me I wasn't even using when we started, so I switched over to it. I have a light over here. I have a teleprompter that's on this device that can weigh the camera well enough because it slides on the front of the camera, and this thing is like suspended in air, being held on by the camera lens. So there's so many horrible things happening right now. But what it should be able to do is when I read articles, I can now look right at the camera to read the articles and then go to everybody. So we're going to see how this works. But I did want to bring AI slop back because I found some funny AI slop, and then we're going to go into advertisements, and then we're going to go and talk about some news. So first things first, this is some funny AI slop. I know everybody's up in arms about AI, and for good reason too, because there's an article today about Block. They're going to lay off, I think, like almost half of their workforce because of AI. And from what their employees have been saying, their AI is not even that good. So that being said, that's kind of, I guess, disturbing. If you don't know what Block is, they own the company Square and also Cash App, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so we are going to play this little funny AI video because it's cute and I like it.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. We already have enough cats in the world. If that many came out of a printer, that is chaos.
Yeah, but that would be so cool if you could just think about how cool it would be if you could just it's like a 3D printer of actual life.
Of cats. Like
of cats in this case. Hold on, let me see if I can play it again.
So cute, though.
But this is a cute use of AI. All right, so my question, though, is for anybody who wants to answer this, I don't care who. Do you think we'll ever get to a point where duplicating life will be to this extent in some future?
we can't even fix our own bodies. Like, how are we going to duplicate life? We just figured out how to glue bones together without nails. We just did that.
We can do that now? Do we heat them together? How does that work?
No, China created an adhesive that sets faster and works longer and better than nails and plates.
Oh, did you see their Trey and or Thermo? Did you see their China's like robots that what's the word I'm looking for? When they brought the German chancellor, it was like part of the introduction ceremony to the German chancellor and the robot. But if those were real, they're destroying every other country in AI and in robots.
So most of the robotics that you're going to see online, and they've even said they hire a lot of cosplayers that are really good at doing movements. Because a person came out in one of the Chinese social media and she's like, actually, I was an actor at an expo pretending to be a robot for a whole weekend. And people really thought it was a robot.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I really do want a robot. Trey, did you see the Chinese AI, the robots stuff?
I did not see that news.
You should go check it out. I don't have a clip.
It's pretty crazy though. Like if that one is real and not an actor, whoa.
Yeah, if that one's real and those aren't actors, their robots are really good. Which brings me to the more important part about that though, is LG at I think it was what was the last like robot they did a robotics fair. I don't know where they were at, but it's like a robot that can do all of your laundry and like do chores around the house. That I'm saving up as much money as I possibly can so that I have that when we come is what when it comes out. Trey, would you use something like that, and would you let Grandma use that?
If I could get Grandma to use that, and if it actually worked, it would be in use. I'm not a huge I'm not great at housekeeping. My grandma's very good at housekeeping. I try to help her out as best I can. She works her butt off. So if that was something that helped.
Trey, did you become hard of seeing when you moved in with Grandma so you could get out of doing Housework.
Wow.
He's been
Jeremy.
exposed.
Wow.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing.
I know.
But then we should make that a running joke with Grandma and see how she feels about that. Because she got mad at me because I was going to try to fly you down for pictures. Because I want to poster us all over billboards.
Wait, does that mean I have to go on Sunday at Game On? Does that mean I have to show up now?
No, it's not for that. I'm going to do it for a specific event where we're all coming together to do pictures. Because
Okay.
We were just driving down the street and we just saw us up on an electronic billboard. And we're like, oh my God, it's us. Right. That's the benefit. That's the only, there's benefits of having, there's a certain amount of money that it's just kind of like, okay, look, I can afford stuff. I'm happy. Then the rest of it, let's do just fun stuff with it. Try to make it where our friends can also get money. I don't know. That's the way I feel about it. And our friends having money is also my segue into Joey. So Joey is going to be at Arizona Comics and Art Festival this Saturday. I was supposed to be there. It's at the Shrine Auditorium, but he made this video to let everybody know about what is going on and how they can support the Geek Collective and our new comic, I Need Your Skin.
Everybody, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, head on over to the Phoenix Shrine Auditorium. I'm going to be there at the Arizona Comic Book Art Festival with I Need Your Skin. All issues are all freshly printed, and we're going to have these on the table. And so head on over and check it out. We'll see you guys.
All right, so if you have nothing to do this weekend, or if you want to break plans that you have this weekend, head on over to the Shrine Auditorium. If you guys don't know what a Shrine Auditorium, Shriners is a branch-off division of the Freemasons group that do a lot of children's volunteer work, if I'm not mistaken. Last time we were there, they tried to recruit me into the Freemasons so that I could then become a Shriner. So that's cool. But the Shriner Auditorium's nice. They have a really nice setup there. Age of Radio was supposed to be there, but unfortunately I didn't have something on my calendar when I agreed to do the Arizona Comics and Arts Festival, so I'm not able to do it. And that is why Joey's going to go there by himself. So there's no show from it, but Joey will have fun. But if you're here, head on down to the Shriners Auditorium. Thermo, have you ever been to the Shriners Auditorium? Shrine Auditorium, I guess.
Don't know if I have. I'm not sure. I bet if I saw a picture of it, I could tell you whether or not I have or not.
The Shriners are famous for parades. They have a little car, and then the Shriner, I think they have the little hats that come up like this, like Sufi hats almost that are
I may have been to the auditorium then, because I've lived in Arizona my whole life. I'm sure at some point I've been there.
I'm sure you've at least seen it. Trey, do you have a bunch of Freemasons up there in Montana? I feel like that there would be at least a couple lodges, or an Elks lodge. You haven't made one yet? Is that what you said?
I haven't met one, not made one. I have not met one.
All right. Moving into just some quick ads here. We do have a sponsor of the show, Merlin. It's the smartest way to track your crypto. Look at this little banner that I made Dustin make for us. He's going to make this for all other kinds of stuff that we have going on. He doesn't know that yet, but he is. And so again, Merlin is
run, Dustin, run!
Right. So Merlin Pro is here. Merlin is free for 30 days for all users. Experience the full power of Merlin with advanced exit strategy builder, advanced charting, drawing tools, technical indicators. You can get the most out of Merlin Pro, and you can get it for 30 days for free. And the great thing about Merlin Pro is we're all about making sure that people they exit the market on the way up so that they can take advantage of profits that they've made in cryptocurrency. You can do the same thing with stocks as well, but Merlin is specifically about cryptocurrency. So if you go to one of these, I'm not going to go to Trump. I don't even know why that's on this demo. I'm going to yell at Johnny later about that and be like, why is Trump coin on here? I don't know. It's probably because it's a meme coin. All right, so let's go to something like ADA, an actual useful coin here. Let's go to ADA or ADA. So if we go to ADA coin, we can see here that it doesn't have an exit strategy build up. With our new exit strategy builder that just released today from Merlin, you can jump on here and you can create an exit strategy with just a couple of clicks. So rather than having to know how to do technical analysis now, you can look for a high point and a low point. So if we just utilize this here as an example, you can take this high point. Well, Hold on, my computer's not working. Here we go. Let me just zoom out here. Anyway, you can take this high point and you can drag it down to say a low point, and you can do it a little bit. You can zoom it in and do this. I'm just doing it fast for the ad. And then what it's doing is it's looking at a high point of $3.10, a low point of 79 cents, and then you can set exit targets. So let's say I wanted to set 5 different exit targets. I could hit 5 here, and it's going to calculate my exit targets. So if I hold ADA, and based off of when I purchased it, it would make sense for me to exit some at $3.98, some at $4.53, some at $6.84. So if I go over here to build the strategy, I can decide, let's say I want to keep 50 for life and sell 50. Then I can go down here in these different exit targets, and I can put different percentages of how much I want to sell. And what it's going to do, it's going to give me the total amount that I will make. And for time purposes, I'm going to keep moving on, but make sure that you guys go to Merlin, check it out for 30 days for free if you're involved with cryptocurrency and you want to learn about our brand new exit strategy builder tool that just released today inside of our Merlin Pro plan. Thermo, do you have any cryptocurrency? Are you anti-cryptocurrency? Are you against? Yeah, it's okay if you are. It doesn't bother me.
No, I am.
That's why we have these discussions.
I'm currently debt free, and I have old school methods of raising funds, but I do use high yield interest accounts and stuff like that. So
nice, and you're debt free. That is really cool. Was that recent?
I've been debt free since I was
you were like 10.
32, 33. I just my house,
nice.
But my house is an investment. So yeah,
that's really cool.
I started really young because I started working at 13, so I learned a lot about money pretty quick.
Nice. All right, well, let's go kick it off into some of the news that we have. It seems that Apple is betting on future wearables, which is one of the things we're going to do here. It's going to get me used to trying to share the screen and then looking at fright in front of the camera, and then also that the camera is screen's a lot smaller in front of me now, but we'll figure it out. All right, so some key takeaways. I'm going to do this. Apple seems to be betting its future on wearables. The company is accelerating development of 3 camera-equipped devices, according to Bloomberg. First, eyewear with high-resolution cameras targeting production as early as December for a 2027 release, codenamed N50. It will compete with Meta's glasses and let users make calls, access Siri, and take actions based on surroundings. In fact, actually, I'm going to do something here real quick.
See, wearables make me a little bit sad. I have this I produce too much electricity. So I short out stuff. I can't wear watches. I shorted out 3 Fitbits.
Explain this.
No, it's a thing. Like, it's a known thing. Like, I have rubberized cases on a lot of my stuff and rubberized keys and stuff because I short stuff out. I shorted out keyboards and phones and computers. Like,
that's cool though, because that'll be beneficial if the robots take over.
we can
just try to get you to lay on them and touch them, and then you will sort it out.
Just rub my hands together, put my hands on them.
All right, each of the products which will be linked to Apple's iPhone depends on a camera system with varying capabilities, and each of the 3 items is going to be glasses, which is going to compete with Meta glasses, but then they're also going to be doing earphones, and the earphones are going to have a camera on them so that it can give you information about what it sees.
That might be really useful for people who are blind, because it could help them walk easier. Like if maybe they can't afford a dog, or they don't have time to train a dog, or they want to have a better visual field, or they're allergic. I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, that would be really. I can see a lot of helping people who are disabled, give them better able way of navigating life with that.
Yeah, of course. And then also then there's going to be a pendant that's also going to have a camera. So Trey, since you're really into Apple, tell me, have you had a chance to look into this since I started talking to you about it? What's going on here? What is this all about? I mean, it looks like Tim Cook met with everybody and said they're going to really focus on AI devices, saying that Apple's working on new categories of products, and these are the new categories of products. But what do you think about them?
I think that they're great. I think if Apple actually does their deal with Google For Gemini, they'll be great. If they try and do it with their current system, I don't think I would really worry about them. Kind of like how I'm not going to be looking at the Vision Pro anymore. However, one of the necklaces does make me a little bit eerie.
Why does the necklace make you eerie? And I can't imagine people wear like this necklace is and good.
What if someone steals your pendant and they just run off with you?
That's a good point. I mean, that's always a possibility, I guess.
Or the clasp breaks and then you don't know where it is and you have to like find it and you just like
yeah, so Apple is having a really hard time catching up with AI. And so they recently bought QAI, which frustrates me because QAI is what I was going to call our AI whenever we got around to that. So we're really behind in AI over at QAI because we don't even have any AI. But Apple's also behind in AI, and they recently bought QAI to help with the catch up, and they're trying to work with Gemini. So Trey, do you think that they'll be able to catch up?
I think that this is going to be an Intel type deal, or there was another company that they did this with, where they kind of used them for a while and learned as much as they could from, and then just kind of made something better. Hence the Intel to the M2. So I think that I don't think that they themselves are going to keep up or catch up, at least in the next, I'm going to say 5 years. But with Gemini's help, they should be on par, I think.
Yeah. Do you think that they'll then just utilize Gemini's models to then make their own AI, or do you think how is this going to look in the future for Apple? Do you think?
I think that they're going to see how the model works, see what Google put into it. Hopefully, there's some sort of a deal there. They might not be able to do that because models aren't like open source software. And then they will build basically something that has even more. They are very product minded. So instead of building a super system thing, they're going to build a super product thing. So this is going to be not quite as good as OpenAI or Google, but something that is very good within Apple's specific product purview.
I think them using Gemini is insane though, because Gemini, like Google in general, their master services agreements have insane clauses inside of them. So Apple better be prepared to negotiate.
So the nice thing about this is it's not the servers. They're not hooking.
No, they're master service agreements. So it's a legal agreement that you sign whenever you sign on with a company and you use their product. So Gemini has very insane terms and conditions, and they do more when you have an enterprise org like Apple, the size it is. When they come in, there's a special agreement they have to sign. So Apple's going to have to negotiate if they have any hope of creating what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Which they probably will be able to, because this isn't like me and you. I'm assuming Tim Cook is sitting down with Sundar, and they're having conversations with each other as CEOs and being like,
"Dude, that blows my mind.
How can we make that type of thing and make this work really, really well for us?" Because if you guys follow me or you guys watch the show out there, you guys know that I think Gemini's AI is some of the best AI. Or Google's AI is some of the best AI, especially with Google DeepMind. And I think that and I think Anthropic's also catching up with OpenAI. In fact, I don't think OpenAI has really good AI anymore. I feel at least when you're looking at some of their competitors, I still use ChatGPT, but I mean, Trey, you're using, but Trey, you use Codex, right? That's ChatGPT's coder, right? Have you tried
Yes,
Pods?
I do. And this is literally just a thing of I can't afford to pay for every service out there.
Oh, that's right, because you have to have 9,000 subscriptions to do anything anymore. My God.
Yeah, so I don't pay for the $20 to two. Oh my! If I could flip it, if this app goes big like I would like it to, I will be going. I don't care what model it is, except for. Okay, I'm gonna do it. May I do a quick tangent, real quick, Jeremy? I don't want to take too much time away.
Yeah,
from the
tangent
show.
all the time. Why not?
On my Substack, about a month ago, I compared all 4 artificial intelligence apps to based on their accessibility. Google, although they have really good AI, their Gemini app scored dead last because of their. You sound like you know what I'm about to say, Thermo.
Yeah, go for it. Make them own it.
Their flipping microphone will time out, and I can't find a reliable way to keep it on. and they're flipping speech to text or text to speech rather. It turns off as soon as the screen turns off. So I have not had very much luck accessibility wise with the Gemini app.
But that's utilizing it on the phone, correct?
On the phone, on the tablet, yeah. I don't even know if they have because I couldn't find it. I don't even know if they have the speech to or text to speech option on the website.
No, that's true. Do you think so, Trey? For these wearables, do you find yourself utilizing if they make AirPods with AI in them or this pendant? Would you buy either of those?
Yes, I would. I don't know about the pendant because those are always like a thing of like. I feel like a while ago we did that like friend thing, the friend pendant thing. Do you remember that?
No, I don't have any friends
and you couldn't you had to be within like a certain distance of your phone or a certain distance of the person, and it wouldn't work all the time. And yeah.
Well, those pendants are a little bit iffy because they're constantly listening to you, and this one would be too, but hopefully to some sort of a wake word. Apple is better about privacy than a lot of other companies. I'm not saying
you can set conditions because Apple lets you set conditions. That's why you can set controls.
Yeah.
Right.
So Thermo, what's the reason why you don't when you said make them own it, what did you mean in regards to
Google was one of the companies in the beginning that said privacy and consumer accessibility were their forefront, and they have failed on almost every point. They continuously misstep. And I mean, a lot of organizations struggle with that because it is difficult to adapt your technology to something that's accessible to all and equitable. But Google, with the amount of money and the skill and the knowledge, the people they have, the subject matter experts, they have no excuse. They should do better.
Yeah. Would you wear would you wear the glasses, the buds, or the pendant if Apple released them?
I'd short them out for fun.
You should totally do that. I think that we should do a whole segment. I'll buy all of it and see
how long it lasts on me.
How long it lasts on you before it actually shorts out.
I think it lasted on me 2 months. That was it.
So we're not an AI show, but AI is obviously all of the talk right now, especially in tech. Sarah Bond, who was the first Black woman to be president of Xbox, is stepping down from her executive role as February 24th, I think it was, a couple days ago. As Xbox, Bond served as president for nearly 2.5 years. Throughout her time at the company, she led teams through unprecedented times, from the pandemic to technological transformation. Particularly, this included charting strategic direction and operational execution for the Microsoft-owned gaming platforms. A big part of Bond's strategy was evolving Xbox past the traditional gaming platform. She also oversaw cross-functional teams across engineering, product development, marketing, and more, according to her LinkedIn. So now, while I think Sarah, I guess my first question that I want to talk about before we get into who took over and why this is related to AI and the possibilities of how AI will impact some of this, is that Xbox under her leadership was really trying to move it where you could play Xbox on any screen.
Which is so nice.
The screen was the thing that was the most important, which is interesting because I have I bought a new television after Danielle moved out. She took our older television, and on that television, that's a Samsung TV, there's a gaming like hub or something on it, and on that hub is Xbox. Not to say
I use it,
not to connect to the Xbox, but you can literally play Xbox games on the television. So my question is, I'll start with you, Thermo, and then I'll go to Trey. Do you think that was where Microsoft should have been going for gameplay rather than focusing on continuously improving consoles?
Yeah, I think it is because it's accessible, right? It's all about accessibility. Most people can't afford a console. By creating Game Pass and the app that's available on pretty much any device that you own, you've essentially created and opened the world to have more consumers, more equity. People can play wherever they want to. They can play with friends from across the world. You could play on an airplane. You could play in the middle of a convention. You could play at home from your PC, from your, like you said, from your TV, from your mobile device. It basically set them up to where they were guaranteed subscribers for eternity, so long as someone had an electrical device and they were interested in the games they were offering.
Right. Which, Trey, what are your thoughts?
So I'm going to push back against that. So,
good.
Jeremy, you know that I have a PlayStation Portal, right?
Correct. I do have my PlayStation Portal. Yes. Can you hear me?
I
can't
have
hear
one.
me.
I got one. I can hear you.
Fantastic.
Can you not hear me? Okay.
No, I can hear you. Everybody's being heard. We're back on. When something happened, I don't know. I have one new other device that I need to buy, and I think everything will be perfect.
Okay. So I got my PlayStation Portal. My brother gave it to me because on the hill where my in the part of town where my family lives, there is not very good Wi-Fi. The highest Wi-Fi you can get is 25 megabits a second. So while the internet thing is great for accessibility, it's not going to serve as many people as you might hope it would. And so I think that it's better for them to have good hardware. And again, it's the subscription trap. As soon as you stop paying that subscription, you do not have the access to that stuff, and that stuff can pile up. Honestly, if you pay, I don't know how much is it for a month for Xbox Online.
There's like 3 tiers, depends on what you choose. So it starts at, I think, at like 10 something and goes up to 32.
And that's separate from Xbox Game Pass.
No, that is Game Pass. Like, it's all included.
Oh, I was under the impression that online was a separate subscription.
No, because I pay for it. So I have Game Pass. It includes everything for $32 a month. I get everything. I get access to the Game Pass games. I get access to mobile, to PC, to TV, everything.
Oh, so I was, and is that Ultimate, or is there a subscription above that?
Ultimate's the highest subscription.
Yeah, Ultimate's the highest.
Okay, that's what I thought. So these, I don't know. I guess it's really just a thing. I think that they need to have a toe in making sure that their hardware works, especially because they've failed with hardware. But I guess that's what I was getting.
Well, yeah,
but that makes sense. Actually, like, still having hardware, why can't they do both? Microsoft is huge. Like, do both.
I think it needs to be a both thing. And I think that what was happening was they were not continuing with the hardware. But I agree with both of you. To Thermo's point, if I wasn't able to afford a console, but I have my cell phone or I have a smart TV, but my family, that's the most that my family could afford with the internet, I would still be able to play Xbox stuff with my friends.
Because they played it for years before you have to buy it. Like, you could play the mid-level of the Game Pass for years before meeting a console cost.
Correct. And so my point is, I think that's the benefit part. But to Trey's point also, if you don't have, say, the internet or anything, you still would want to play video. Like, you can still maybe play the video games, because if I'm not mistaken, you can still play them without internet. Most of them, you just lose a lot of features, right? Yeah, is that true? I don't know.
They still, I mean, you buy a CD, like, that's the one thing that is the one downside I have to say, is they are going almost exclusively where you have to download it from like a QR code. I still think that for accessibility, you should be able to like order a CD or a disc for people that want to use that on their console and have hardware, like have a physical copy they can own instead of the digital copy for people who are in zones where internet accessibility might be more tenuous.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I think you're both 100% right in both areas. But real quick, before we go to our foam talk segment, because Danielle is in the house, which we'll bring her up in a minute, I do want to touch a little bit on who they brought in to the fold with Sarah leaving. So essentially, the new individual, Asha Sharma, who I'm excited to see what she can do. It just depends on what her route is. So Sharma is stepping into some big shoes. So outside of an attempt to appease gamers, what is she saying about the future of Xbox? So Sharma said that her commitment to Xbox required 3 things: great games, the return of Xbox, and understanding the future of play. So I think that there is some, I think there is some, like, I guess, conflict of where Sarah was taking it, with the Xbox being everywhere and the Xbox also being a physical console. A great game to Sharma has to be deep emotional resonance and a distinct point of view. She added that she wants to make stories that make players feel something, highlighting the excellent indie game Firewatch that she did in, I'm assuming, in a post. So she's coming into gaming as a platform builder. Sharma told Variety. She added that the goal is to be consistent and earn the trust of players and developers. Now, Sharma worked at, I think, some other e-commerce companies, I think is where she comes from, if I'm not mistaken on this. I read that somewhere. But her background is in AI. And so it also seems like they might be bringing her in because of her background in AI, which there has been some backlash against that potential use of generative AI in development.
Oh, gaming?
Sharma said,
Well, no, gamers don't want that.
correct. So Sharma said she has no tolerance for bad AI, while adding that AI has been and will continue to be a part of the game.
I mean, technically AI has existed, not in the way we understand it, but AI has existed in animation and gaming as the back end for managing the mathematics for Gravity for some time. Because Gravity is it's horrific to render whenever you're trying to do that in an animation studio or through a platform.
Also horrific when you're falling.
Yeah, it also manages lights, cameras. So an algorithm has done this for a long time, but it's not the AI that people are thinking of now. It's not generative. It's an algorithm that was meant to help mathematics and help developers understand the level of NASA math that they have to do to build a game.
Right. And so for those things, I don't think people have a problem with. I think the problem comes when you're going to be utilizing AI to make pieces that are inside of the game, to make developing things that are inside of the game apart from debugging, because I think AI for debugging could be beneficial, which I know that Square Enix has on their roadmap to get to a point where most of their debugging is from artificial intelligence over the next 5 years. But again, I think that could be beneficial. But so Trey, real quick, and then Thermo's thoughts, and then we'll start some foam talk. Trey, do you think that AI is good for gaming or bad for gaming, and where do you see Xbox going?
I've been pretty critical of Xbox in the past. You know,
yeah, you hate Xbox. I understand.
I don't hate Xbox. I want to see them do well because I know a lot of people like them. However, I am not sure what their intentions are with hiring somebody who's in AI. I do not think, like, to an extent, I think we've talked about this before where it's great in the back end, but if you're going to use it on art, there is a actual human that you can pay to do that a lot better. And it's one of the things where if you are a one-person creator and you have only a limited time on this earth and you can't afford to pay somebody to build the art, and you don't like, it's not something that you care about as much. I think there's a lot of scales in it. Then I think AI is a little bit more understandable, but not for a huge company.
Yeah. Thermo?
I just think they need to keep AI itself out of it, unless it's doing some kind of essentially an algorithm helping with mathematics and rendering that is essentially very excessive. There are very few mathematicians that can handle Gravity for games, and they were struggling about 15 years ago, maybe it was a little more than that, because I have a background in animation. They were struggling to find people that could figure it out, so they had to create algorithms that could do that. And it's like we created computers to solve rocket launches. Like, stuff like that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that does make sense. But you know where they don't have AI? I'm sure they do in some capacity. AI.
Foam talk.
But foam talk. I don't know who made this. Foam talk. I don't. It really blends
the
into
stabby
the blue.
sword.
It really blends into the blue.
Foam
Let's
talk.
bring up Danielle from Husky
Hello.
Hubby Cosplay. Danielle, welcome to the show. How are you doing? Are you feeling amazing?
I am feeling amazing now. It has been one of those weeks that we are at the end of it, and I am glad. So it's amazing now.
And Danielle, I don't remember if we tell people what you do for a living, so I don't know if you want to tell that what you do for a living on here, but she has a stressful job, so I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, I'm a speech pathologist in a public school system, so there's a lot of work to do throughout the week.
And Thermo, you know Danielle, correct? Danielle,
Yeah.
do you know Thermo? Have you guys ever done stuff together before, cosplay wise stuff?
I don't think so, but I've met
so.
Danielle before. Long
Yes.
time ago. Also, I'm bald now. Most people don't recognize me out of costume. So
Trey, me and you
Right?
should
I'm
go
like,
bald
I feel like
so that
I
we can.
recognize your face, but I'm like trying to place it with
something on it, or hair, or helmet, something. Yeah. Most cosplayers out of cosplay were like, what?
Right, that's a good point.
Right.
You usually can't tell who they are, like when they're out of the cosplay, because it's completely different.
What's one of your super most popular that I may have seen you in?
Oh gosh. Recently? No. I mean, I've done Rumi recently, and I have a long braid, and I've done Solus from Dragon Age and Dragon Age Belguard, and I did one that I went to LA Comic-Con with and placed in was Yojimbo from Final Fantasy.
Were you
10?
Rumi at Uwu?
Yeah, the one that was running around like mad.
Yes,
and constantly back and forth. Yeah.
Yep,
mhm.
that's probably what I recognize you from.
Just
Yep.
Yeah, Thermos, like where you guys were at UWuCon at because you were at the Arizona cosplay booth, right? I think that it was
you were next to Raven. I were right next to you. I'm the one that was always running. Are you guys okay? Cool. Bye bye.
Yep, that's why I'm like, I know that I can place your face at some con. I just am. Yes, now I know exactly.
All right. So the good news
Kyle,
is
I think Kyle introduced us.
Most likely. Yes,
Kyle. I love Kyle. He's such a nice guy.
He's great. He's so great.
All right. So I have dice. I don't know why I have dice, but I keep them in this little cool little like scroll zip up little container here. That's also a rolling mat. But what we're going to do, and what's good about this is Thermo knows something probably about foam also. So conversations can be much more interesting than me and Trey being like, what are you talking about? And then trying to figure something out. But I have been trying to find a chemist to be on the show to talk about foam. I want to have the most boring conversation about foam ever. So I'm not sure if I'm going to try to find an entertaining.
You want to talk about off-gassing? Is that what we're talking about? We're
What is
talking
that?
about like what happens when you heat foam and it off-gasses and you can kill animals?
Oh, no.
He wants to know the chemical compositions.
Oh, okay.
What it is of the foam.
Importantly, I want
Which leads to the off-gassing. Okay.
More importantly, what I want to have is I want to have a chemist who's a regular on the show that then we can also utilize when we're live at events to do chemical experiments that relate to stupid shit that we're talking. Because I'm assuming any chemist knows how to do like chemist stuff for kids, right?
I know how to do some chemistry science experiments for kids, but they're like the fun ones I do during therapy. So
see, that's what I'm talking about. So we're gonna set up a whole chemist show. We're gonna have more and more booths. It's gonna be great. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue our journey through EVA foam. And I got two.
Is that who I think it is? Wait, is that?
I don't know.
It is. It is her. It's a oh gosh, what's her name? Why am I forgetting her name right now? I know that cosplayer. I've met her in person. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Beverly down in
yes,
down in studios.
Yes, that is amazing.
She's awesome.
Oh, hold on, I got hit amazing. This way, if we had more people.
I was like, why am I forgetting her name?
Okay, so I'm gonna use a percentile dice. I don't know why. That's gonna be what is it? 1 through 10. So I need a percentile dice and a 10. Yeah.
What are you doing to us?
I'm gonna randomly. I'm gonna randomly find pages and have you guys talk about whatever the page lands on. All right, so we got 78.
All right.
No, it'd be funny if it's just a picture of someone's butt.
Right. Well, then we'll talk about butts, I guess.
Then we're gonna talk about butts. All right, 78.
Proper.
It talks about this stuff called quick cure adhesive. So Danielle,
cyanoacrylate.
It looks like
no idea.
it looks like CA glue. There was some epoxy in there.
All right, so Danielle, take us away on quick cure adhesive, and then we will kick it to Thermo for commentary. Quick cure adhesive. Tell me all about it, as much as you can. Go.
Okay. Quick cure adhesive is things like super glue, or like we'll call it CA glue. I typically don't use it on my foam props. I don't think that it works as well on foam as contact cement, but I love CA and activator for my 3D printed plastic. But I don't think because CA glue can be so thin,
brittle,
and brittle, and EVA foam is more porous and flexible even when you seal it. It just soaks way too much into the foam to be my favorite adhesive. Thermo, go.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
Thermal,
I use
go.
contact cement, but I will use super glue for like accoutrements or little designs that I know are not going to flex at all to create more rigidity, like places on my shins where I need it to be very strict and stable and not flex as much. I'll put it there, or like places where I want it to be a little bit stronger because it's going to probably get hit a lot more. I'll use contact cement and super glue kind of around the edges to help stabilize it more. Or if I've like sculpted some foam clay on it and I know it's going to fit fine around it, where it flexes, I'll use contact cement. Where it's not going to flex and it's just like a big bulky part, I'll use super glue.
Aisha says, are you guys talking to me or just gossiping with each other? Aisha, you are in for a treat because we're talking about foam. So any foam questions you have, make sure that you answer them because we have 2 foam experts and we're working to be your place for foam talk at least once a month in some capacity is what I'm saying. Okay, so this says, sorry, Aisha, I'm going to go back to the foam talk. Okay, so it says, is it Loctite Super Glue? Is that a company, Loctite?
Yes.
Loctite,
Okay, it
yeah.
says that the best ones are Loctite Super Glue, Loctite Epoxy, Instant Mix 5-minute, Gorilla Super Glue, and the Bob Smith Industries line of something I can't pronounce called cyanoacrylate.
That's CA glue.
Yep, that's CA glue.
How do you pronounce it?
I think it's cyanoacrylate, right?
Sorry, Danielle.
Yeah, let me look it up. I will use my degree.
Is it cyanoacrylate or cyanoacetate? Which one is it?
I think it's acetate.
Acrylate. There's an R in the ass after the acre. There's no ass in this.
Okay, CA.
So everything
cyanoacrylate? I don't know.
Cyanoacrylate, probably. Yeah, I think it is cyanoacrylate. Yep.
Cyanoacrylate. Trey, make a banner for this. I'm just joking, Trey.
Poor
Trey looks so excited about this conversation. Okay, one more thing, and then we're going to move on from cyanoacrylate.
Yep.
Accelerants speed up the bonding process for cyanoacrylate glue and can even add strength into your seams. They are available as a spray or as a liquid with a small applicator tip for more precision. What does that mean?
So that means I will show you.
Yes, we have all.
She has it.
I do. I'm working on stuff for Game On. So this is your CA glue. That's why it says CA glue.
Literally says it on there, CA glue.
Yep. And so it's basically super glue. And so you'll put this on your seam, and then you'll take this guy, which is the activator, and you spray it on where you've got the super glue. And you want to make sure you're holding things as tight as you can, because once you put this on, boom, your super glue is dry. And your print is essentially ruined if you try and take it apart.
So is it dangerous, though, for any kids out there that are playing with glue?
It is toxic.
Yes, it is toxic. It does have let me look this.
Trey looks so enthused right now. He's like, why are we doing
all the symbols?
Oh, look,
symbols.
Those are the symbols. Those aren't the same
symbols. This is what we need
a
chemist for.
Yeah, you need to wear a respirator, and you should be wearing gloves. And then also they recommend safety glasses if it's going to be something you have to bring up close to your eyes, because the off-gassing when you activate it can actually burn your cornea.
Yep.
Ayusha left. So sorry, Ayusha, that you are not into foam talk, because you're going to be missing out. Because eventually, I don't know why you would be missing. I mean, if you're into foam, we'll figure out a way for everyone to love foam. That's our goal. Because not only are we going to talk about foam with Danielle, hopefully at Game On Expo, we're also going to do convention foam fighting, where all of the foam started last year at Game On Expo. All right. Any last words on cyano?
You know what I wonder if why Beverly uses foam, uses super glue for her foam, is she's usually in the Pacific Northwest. There's a lot more moisture, and super glue does react differently in moist environments with foam, whereas out here it's so dry that contact cement is better. So that could be the difference.
That's very possible.
And she may not use this. I think she's just trying. I mean, I guess maybe she does use it, but but my point is that she might just be like going through everything like as a full range of EVA foam.
Yeah.
Which is just one kind of foam. So
if you're stacking, like if you take 30 millimeter foam, which is a pain in the butt to cut, but you're trying to stack to create like a platform or something, CA glue would make sense. Like you want it to be hard.
You want that, hard rigidity, because it doesn't flex. That's why it
hard
works.
rigidity. All right, we're going back to the dice. Trey, did you have any questions or concerns about cyanoacrylate? And we know a new word. We're going to be chemists by the end of this. All right, rolling the
Excuse
dice.
me.
That's okay.
Trey's allergic to this.
105.
He needs his respirator. He needs to protect himself from foam talk.
Yep.
All right, 105. Let's see here. 105. Commonly used paints, acrylic paints, and something called Liquitex Heavy Body, and slowing down. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. And slowing down. Okay, that's a tip. Liquitex Heavy Body, is that a type of acrylic paint?
It is. It's one of, well, I think I actually prefer Liquitex Soft Body.
Yeah, the soft body's nice.
Yep, the soft body.
Okay, so hold on. Let's hold on real quick because we don't know anything about foam. What are acrylic paints for people that aren't out there that knowing? And then what is the difference between Liquitex Heavy Body and Liquitex Soft Body? Danielle, and then Thermo for commentary. And me and Trey will look sit here looking stupid.
Wait, should I get my stack? My stack's big though.
I'm so close to it all, and I love visuals. So, so this is a basic acrylic paint. It's Liquitex basic acrylic paint, and it's just what you think of when you think of acrylic paint. It's paint that's an acrylic medium. Soft body and hard body are different types of acrylic paint. Soft body tends to be better for foam because it's much more flexible and it doesn't crack. So like, oh no,
you're here.
Oh.
We're here.
You're the focus.
I forgot to give you a note that I was going to be doing that. It's because you were going deep into the acrylic paint. So I was like, oh, we'll zoom in.
Yeah. Okay. So soft body acrylic will flex, whereas like a regular paint or the cheaper acrylic paints don't flex, so they'll do more flaking. And so if you're putting your paint over foam, and foam that's going to be a lot more mobile, you want that to be able to flex. That's like the main reason for using foam versus like 3D printing, is the flexibility and the lightweightness of it. And soft body acrylics allow for some of that twisting and flexing.
So then my guess is heavy body does not do that?
It's just less flex.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's less flex. So when would be a situation would you use the soft body versus the heavy body?
I would say I always use soft body because we do so much traveling that I'm always squishing things into suitcases, and I'd rather my props be able to handle some of that squishing and my paint jobs not flake and crack.
Got it. Thermo, what is your experience with acrylic paints and Liquitex heavy body and soft body?
And Liquitex is a brand, just throwing that out there. That's
okay,
and
so Liquitex is a brand of acrylic paint.
It's acrylic paint that's been blended with latex. That's why it's flexible. So if you have a latex allergy, do not use it or wear gloves when painting it, and understand if that foam's going to make contact with your body and you have a latex allergy, wear some fabric underneath to separate it so that you won't have a reaction. That's actually why I've started moving away from Liquitex. I'm starting to develop a worse latex allergy. It was mostly from the clavicle up, but now it's starting to happen on my hands and my forearms too.
What happens? Your body just gets red or what? Itchy?
I get rashes and eczema. Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, I have a bad reaction to it. Sometimes I'll cause, from here up, I get hives, I get a fever, and I have to go to the hospital. So I can't really touch it. So what you can do though is you can use standard. What I do is I either use leather paints, because leather paints are also flexible. They're more expensive, but they're flexible and more opaque, so you don't actually have to use as much. And then if I can't find a leather paint in the tone that I'm looking for, I can get like those Apple Barrel really cheap acrylic paints, and I mix them 1-to-1 with Elmer's wood glue, because the wood glue has a bit of flex to it. And you can actually paint it on, and it also is an adhesive, so you have a little bit more longevity with your paint.
That's really cool.
Nice.
It does say here that acrylic paints dry very quickly, sometimes in minutes. If you need a few extra minutes of working time, try using an acrylic retarder medium to prolong drying times. This is useful for painting large areas, weathering, and blending. What is that?
So it's the medium similar to like you know the glue you played with as a kid and you put it on your hand and then you would peel it off? That's what it does, is it
Just
essentially
regular.
that the retarder's just kind of like that, yeah.
So then
it gives it a little bit more time.
It slows down the drying, so that's that's what that
slows the curing process.
But that's a separate. This looks like it's a separate thing.
It is, yeah.
So Danielle, do you have any of that there too, or do you not use that on a regular basis?
I don't use that on a regular basis. If I have to paint big, like if I'm doing big pieces of painting, which is generally what I do, I tend to use rattle can spray paint.
Spray paint or airbrush too.
Yep. I have not made my way into airbrush yet. I will eventually, but there's only so many toys I can convince my husband to buy.
Good point.
You can do like a happy medium and get one of those little airbrush ones that attaches to the top of the can and just start like encouraging him to just slowly.
What's going to encourage him to do it is these projects we're doing right now, because I think I have like 2.5 weeks left to do them. I don't know. I'm trying not to look at the calendar. Is I'm actually going to teach him and make him do some stuff. So
there you go.
To his defense,
and if you guys are joining us right now, we're going through Beverly Downen's Cosplay Ultimate Guide to EVA Foam with our two EVA experts, Danielle, the main host of Foam Talk, and also Thermos here, who's also amazing with foam, as they are, I guess you would say, professional cosplayers at this point.
Please don't tell me that. That's scary.
Don't you guys make money doing cosplay in some fashion?
All the money every bit of money I've ever made, I go to charity. It goes to ACLU, goes to St. Mary's Food Bank, or it goes to the African American Association of Arizona.
That's kind of like it's professional. You're just a nonprofit professional money maker.
Okay, that's fair. That I raise close to $5,000 a year.
Swift,
nice.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
All right, going back to the dice.
Make me look like not.
Before you do that, Jeremy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. Mine goes back into more costumes and stuff. So go ahead.
That's where mine would go. That's where all my money goes.
So I'm curious about this, because this is actually kind of interesting. Do the harder paints make the crafts more like, I'd imagine they'd make them a little bit harder to the touch and a little bit more shiny. Is that correct? In the software,
if you add more layers, they can.
Gift.
Yeah.
It like the harder paints can be stiffer, which is why they do more flaking, so they don't resist the movement as much, and so then they do the flaking off, and then the shininess just depends on what you kind of put over it. So like,
or if you have metallic dust in it too, like a lot of people will do a metallic powder brush on the top of it and then seal it with something.
Yep. It's the sealant that really like locks in if you want it matte, or if you want it shiny, or if you want it satin.
Trey, are you thinking about doing some foam projects?
No, I am not. Nope.
We're gonna do some. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna.
What if we cut them? What, Trey? What if we pre-cut the foam and just mail it to you, and then you just have to glue it together?
We can do on screen build stuff.
Yes. We need to 100% do that. All right, page 96 is next. We'll do 2 more questions, and then we'll go to the last few news articles and get everybody's take on them to end out the show today, because we've only gone through like 2 news articles. We talked about so much other stuff before. I have no idea how they keep track of the time on these things. Okay, 96 is where we're going at next. 96 is 97 is this. Isn't that a person from Thor?
Oh, that's Hella. I almost did that cosplay, and then I ended up doing Mighty Thor instead.
Oh,
but Mighty Thor is amazing. Mighty Thor is amazing.
Was really good.
That was my first. Oh yeah, you can catch that in one of the old interviews we did.
Right,
that's
and
when
actually,
Chuck almost. Yep.
Yeah, so I have an assistant now, and so we're gonna go grab all the old footage. I made our very first playlist on the Mercury Age of Radio page now for Tempe FanCon, so that's up now in its own playlist that you can see on the homepage as well. So I'm excited to get all this old content out and back up and reorganized now that I have some other assistance with that. All right, let's talk about content. We're going to go contact cement, creature cast rubber, and Epsilon Pro is on this page. So Danielle, take us away on what is contact cement.
Okay, contact cement is an adhesive, and the way it works is that it adheres on contact. So you take it, and again, we talked about this last time. We're going to talk about it every time. Wear your PPE, personal protective equipment. When using contact cement, that includes a
Can we just call
respirator.
it PPE moving forward? I think that would be really funny.
PPE! Just
I
call
know
it
you said
PP.
PP, but we could call it PP and like
Right?
extend the E out. All right,
Right?
that is
PP!
Wellwood Contact Cement. I just want Wellwood Contact Cement folks to know that we just gave them free sponsorship.
Right?
All right.
Yep. I used to use Barge, but then Barge became really hard to find. Again, those are just
Barge is
different
the
brands.
picture on there too.
Yep. It's contact cement, so you put it on one side of your foam after you've heat sealed it so that it doesn't soak up all your glue, and then you put it on the other side of your foam, and then you wait like 10 to 15 minutes. Yep. That's what it looks like. It's very, I always get this mixed up. I believe it is viscous, which means it's not very liquidy. Yeah.
And so that's the contact cement?
That's contact cement. So you put it
Got
on and you wait for it to get just slightly tacky, and then you stick your two things together and you press them and you hold them for like, I don't know, 5 seconds, press them hard together, and then they never come apart.
What is creature cast rubber? And it's like literally called creature cast rubber.
Yep, I will. I have never worked with that, so I'm excited to hear about it from Thermo, which looks like they got very excited.
So
Okay,
creature cast
Thermo.
rubber is like a liquid, so it's essentially the same. It behaves just like liquid latex. You can paint it on, you can airbrush it on. It's like the plasti dip that you use in a spray can, but it has a longer drying time. It's a little bit easier to manipulate, and it's a lot more opaque. So you usually only need maybe 1 or 2 coats, and it fills gaps. So if you've got heavy seams or anything, it fills those in kind of like foam clay does. So you don't have to do all the pre-work and sanding. It covers all of that for you.
Do you have some of it? But it's so is the brand Creature Cast, or is
It is called Creature Cast. It's the siliconized rubber.
Okay, so there's brands that then make Creature Cast rubber.
Mhm.
This is crazy, Trey. Did you know there
Creature
was this many
Cast, I think, is
chemicals
actually
involved?
local to Arizona. It was. I don't know if it moved, but it started in Arizona because I picked it up from like an office just down the road a couple of years ago.
Oh wait, so Creature Cast is the brand.
Liquid neoprene rubber.
Yeah, siliconized rubber is what they call it. It's a nickname.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on, I'm still confused. So Creature Cast is the brand, or that's the type?
Brand. It's the brand.
Oh, okay. Are there other brands that make Creature Cast rubber?
So the neoprene rubber, there's also like the plasti dip. So it's very similar to plasti dip. It's just not as so plasti dip isn't as good as Creature Cast. Creature Cast is made for film industry, so it's far more effective, and it was released to the public only a few years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. But plasti dip's been in the automotive industry for a long time. Creature Cast was just released, just like some of the more recent makeup silicone putties that you can apply to your face. The film studios realized, hey, we can make more money if we gave this to the public. So let's start creating ways for them to buy more stuff.
Go capitalism.
Uh-huh.
All right, Epsilon Pro is a 2-part epoxy product from Smooth On that is self-leveling and extremely durable after several thin coats. What is Epsilon Pro?
Have you used it before? Because I have.
Okay, I have not. So again, I am plasti dip all the way.
Yeah, Epsilon Pro is similar. It's like so Eurocoat was the precursor to Epsilon Pro. Eurocoat was essentially like a 2-part. It feels like a completely clear. It's completely clear, translucent rubber that you pour on. So it's like self-leveling resin. If you want something harder, you pour it on.
Okay.
You rotocast it a little bit, right, to get it to level out, and then you let it dry. That's the same thing for this here. It is a little bit more difficult to work with. It's harder to get a very clean edge. It can absolutely leave like little drips and drops, kind of like one of those cakes that has a little frosting down the sides. It's just dripping, melting down. But it is so durable. You can flex it, you can bend it, you can do whatever you want, and whatever's underneath it will not come off.
That is awesome. All right. So I was going to do one more page, but I'm looking at the time here and I do want to hit some more articles. But real quick. So, Danielle, as I saw a post on your Instagram that you had made some weapons, but they were 3D weapons. Is that
Yes.
Is that an old
Yes.
Instagram post? Is that a new Instagram post? Is that what's going
that
on
one
right now?
That one just came out today. They are right. Yeah. So these ones
Fresh
are,
out the 3D oven.
Yes, they are. So we're doing Blade and Magic, and so this is Blade's 3D printed sword, and then
Oh,
the
that's
handle.
so cool.
So
Yay.
the question is, as you go more into 3D printing, will you slowly move away from EVA foam?
The answer to that is no. I still love EVA foam for like the armor pieces. So, I mean, I am doing Magic has really big pauldrons that have really like a ton of spikes. So I did 3D print those because trying to get, I'm going to call them organic shapes like spikes is very difficult to do out of foam. And so just for ease and my sanity, I 3D printed those because I also found a 3D printed file that had already rendered them and done all that. But I am going to make like the rest of like her chest plate and things out of EVA foam. And I'm going to do Brandon's blade chest plate out of EVA foam and probably his leg pads and his knee pads, just because it's so much more lightweight. And Brandon being the husky hubby that he is, like that much plastic on him would not be comfortable. So we're still, I'm still foaming it up. But Thermo sounds like they've got some really great, they might be our new expert in foam talk.
I've been cosplaying for over a decade. So, and I started with foam and I've done 3D printing, but I realized that like, I don't like how 3D prints kind of put too much pressure and they're so hard. So I've gone back to foam recently. Plus, oh my gosh, it's so much lighter. I would rather wear a bunch of leather and then have more foam armor on top of the leather than have a bunch of leather and 3D printed, because I did that once and it was way too much weight.
Oof. Yeah, like 3D prints are heavy.
Mm-hmm. They're not when you take them off the board, but when you by the time you've sanded them and painted them and sealed them and then added the attachments, they're like another 1 or 2 pounds heavier.
And they're just bulkier.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming to Foam Talk. We're gonna get back into some more of the news, and the goal of Foam Talk is that we're all experts of foam in some capacity, and we're going to keep learning as much as we possibly can about foam until, for some reason, either kills us or something happens. I have no idea. All right, so this is
we need the chemist so they can tell us how much. That's what it was originally for.
What?
The exposure, the chemical exposure. That's what we were going to ask them, how much life we have left if we keep breathing in all this stuff.
Yeah, there's those questions. There's experiments. There's learning about other types of foam. There's also now learning about chemicals, because there's so many chemicals that go into, like, there's the foam chemical aspect, but we learned about all kinds of chemicals in this episode, right? It was just mainly chemicals that we talked about for like the last 20 minutes. All right. So CEO Jack Dorsey announced Thursday that the company will make drastic cuts as intelligence tools create a new way to work. He also warned that other companies could make similar changes soon. Dorsey shared his note to employees in a post on X. He wrote that Block, the company behind Square and Cash App, is reducing its headcount to 6,000 people from roughly 10,000 people. That leaves more than 4,000 workers being laid off or asked to enter consultation. Dorsey noted the move had nothing to do with the company's financial health. In fact, he said gross profit and the customer's base are growing. Instead, he argued that the company's intelligence tools are making it possible to operate with smaller and flatter teams. Block is effectively betting AI can replace nearly half of its workforce, even though survey after survey has shown that most executives say that significant productivity gains from their AI investments have yet to materialize. So, Trey, we are going to start with you, then we'll go to Thermo, and then we will go to Danielle. So, Trey, what are your thoughts on Block getting rid of so many people and moving towards artificial intelligence?
I give it 2 months.
And the whole
I give
company's
it-
going to go under?
No, I give it 2 months, and then actually maybe 2 months is a little bit strict. I give it 6 months before they start hiring people back in again, because this has actually been. I follow this guy. If you guys are ever into AI or technology, there's this guy. Crap, I'm gonna have to try and remember his name. I can't think of it at the top of my head. He's a really good guy in AI. And he always talks about these companies that have been making these cuts, and this has been happening off and on for the last 2 years. And these companies go, "Oh, the AI is so great now. We can have our staff." And then a couple months later, they just they don't even make a big stink. They just go, "Yeah, we were wrong."
Yeah, absolutely, Trey. It could actually happen. But before we comment on that, Trey, William from the Creators Outlet podcast said that we could also talk about beer foam. So that is another type of foam that we have to talk
I'm ready. I will bring a Guinness. I'm freaking ready.
You will bring. We'll all have I don't drink, and Trey doesn't drink, so we'll have to find. We'll have.
Okay, so you want me to bring a beer flight for all of us? I'll bring a beer flight for all of us.
Yeah, you can have all of ours. I'm not a beer person, so.
Look, I'm Irish and Scottish, and I am owning my heritage, and I love bitter drinks. Bitter drinks make me happy.
Bitter drinks do make me
There you
happy. I'm not
go.
gonna lie. All right, Trey. So I agree with you. I think that they're gonna have to come to. I think that they're gonna find. Well, I mean, I don't know. Jack Dorsey's made so many bad decisions in his life. He's always failed upwards. I mean, look at X. Or Twitter, but I mean, he did get a really big win with Square. I know that there's still a lot of problems with Square, and obviously there's still Cash App. I don't know. I don't use Cash App, so I don't know much about that. But I think that they will get to a place where they're going to cut this, and like unless they know for certain that those the AI will what I don't know who's going to replace what is it going to do that those 4,000 people did. That's what I would be really interested in understanding is like what it was that they're doing that the AI is going to do. However, Jack Dorsey, while he was running Twitter, did really bloat the company, and there was all kinds of people that they had hired that really didn't even need to be there, as we saw from when Elon took over and let everybody go and changed it over to X, that the company still was running, right, and is still running despite what you think about X, but so I think that you might be in the right place. I think they're going to get to a point, and then they're going to start adding on people because they'll realize that it maybe shouldn't have been for all those 4,000, that they still need some of those jobs. Thermo, what are your thoughts?
2, AI should never replace a person or take their job from them. And this is a SOX violation waiting to happen. I hope they get fined.
How's it a SOX?
Oh, if you don't know what SOX is, it's Sarbanes-Oxley Act.
I know what SOX is, but I don't know enough about it to how that would result in a fine. Can you explain?
Essentially, you have to have human capital present tracking all of your processes. Losing 4,000 people sounds like a lot of processes and standard operating procedures are about to get tanked.
I kind of think that this is going to be them sacking a lot of their junior developers and their security people because they probably think that the AI can...
Security typically does your audit.
I am aware. I'm not saying that they're doing is good, but I'm not saying anything like for sure, but that's my guess is I'm going to see a lot of, and I'm curious, maybe I'm wrong. You're more into the security end of it than I am. I'm more into the developer end.
I can see them doing it to developers, which is sad because developers are needed too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you can't become a senior unless you become a junior, and juniors.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, we're gonna have a bunch of just senior developers that have jobs, and no one else is gonna be able to become a developer.
Trey needs to get hired. Get Trey.
right, exactly. Because that was one of the things that I was thinking about too. Thinking about my businesses, and sometimes when we're hiring salespeople, you want to go out the gate and hire good salespeople, but then at some point you also have to put a policy in place that maybe you bring on junior salespeople to get them to be good salespeople, right? Because how does anybody learn anything unless they're already at the senior level? You know what I mean?
And then you can absolutely build from within and build that loyalty and build like that piece of human capital where it's like, okay, maybe I could take my skills somewhere else, but you helped me form those skills from the ground up. So I'm going to stay here and I'm going to keep doing well for this company. Right. And I think that's a lot of what's going to get lost as things shift in and out and back and forth with AI.
Jessica's in the house. She says hello. I don't know. She said she had errands to do. That's why she couldn't join the show and talk about foam. She's non-foam. I don't know. She's non-FOMO, I guess. Is that what we would call that?
She's no-mo, no FOMO.
No FOMO.
No FOMO.
No
Oh,
FOMO is what our new
FOMO?
word is. No FOMO. Danielle,
No
so what are
FOMO.
your any more thoughts on Jack Dorsey and laying off people at Block?
You know, I'm kind of in agreement with everyone. I think that it's going to be a terrible experiment in the sense that, you know, things are going to have to, as I feel like they all do in our capitalist society, they're going to have to get much worse before changes are made to make them better again. And I think that is what's happening. I do think AI has its place as a tool, but I don't think that it replaces the human touch, I guess, in a company.
In your company, for what you do you see it replacing things that you do as a speech pathologist?
Not necessarily. I do use it, I will say, because there are certain things where, you know, my job centers around evaluations and writing goals and rewording things a lot. Or
Right, but it's like an assistant in that capacity. It's
exactly.
Not like
so I can, you know, put something in there, like a report that I have used my professional judgment to write and say, help me put this into more parent-friendly language.
Right.
Or help me explain to my administrator why this student really does need XYZ, why he does need to come out of PE or come out of, you know, reading so that he can work with me, because we're working on the same things. And sometimes the ability for AI to take the emotion out of some of it, because so much of like my work is going to sound cheesy, but it's like that heart work piece. And sometimes it's hard for me to be as objective as some of my coworkers need. And so that it helps like make this, I mean, I read data all the time, like therapy data and stuff, but make this email sound as objectively friendly as possible so that I can get what I need.
Right.
So I do use
Absolutely.
it, long story short. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everyone, we're coming up to the top of the hour. So to kick off closing, Danielle, what is the next events you're going to be out? Which is obviously Game On, I'm assuming, unless you're going to an event before that. So besides the events, what do you have going on, and where can people find you on social media?
So yeah, our next one is Game On. We'll be there with AZ Cosplay. And then you can find us on Instagram, on YouTube, and on TikTok sometimes at Husky Hubby Cosplay. That's our tag in all of them. And then after that, we'll be going to WeebCon in Texas. We're content creators there. So if you're interested in going to WeebCon, you can use our code and get, I think, 10% off. So, woo, go to Texas.
Yay, Texas. I think we're going to Texas with Joey. I wonder what that is. Maybe that's that con. What is that con? Is that a what con is that?
It's WeebCon. It's an anime con.
Oh, I don't think Joey would be going to that. Okay.
And then we're going to, it's not Dallas Fan Expo. Oh no. In April, we're going to, or end of April, we're going to Level Up as content creators, but that's in Vegas.
That's really cool. Well, awesome.
Yeah.
Thermo, what do you have going on, and where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on social media, Thermo_AZ on Instagram, or ThermoAZ at ThermoAZ on YouTube and on Instructables. And you can find me with Cause Talk Live as well. So if you look up Cause Talk Live, I stream with them. I'm going to, let's see here, my next convention is going to be WonderCon in Anaheim at the end of March. And then after that, at the end of April, early May, the first like May 2nd and 3rd, I think, or May 1st and 2nd. I think it's the 2nd and 3rd. Yeah. I'll be in West Virginia for Wasteland Jamboree.
Nice.
That is awesome, Thermo. It looks like William was like WeedCon, but it's WeebCon, correct? Right?
B is in boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
B. Wait, B. Oh, Weeb. Yeah, WEEB, right?
Yeah, weeb,
Yeah.
like you're a weeb, like
Weeb, yeah, I got you.
without
I got
the
you.
D. Yeah.
We're all weebs. We're all weebs.
We are all
Ds.
weebs. Yes.
We are all weebs. All right, Trey, what do you have going on coming up this week and in life?
So real quick. So not real quick. I'm sorry. I did put out a Substack this week. It is now that I've flipping had it, I've lost it.
Good.
I remember I told you about it earlier.
Was it me?
No, it wasn't. Oh, it was. Oh my God! I am so sorry. My mind just went blank. I'll move on to.
This is amazing. I love it. Go check out Trey's Substack. I'll put a little QR code up in the corner.
Trey, that's me. That was me at like 3:30 when I was going to join the stream after I'd gone through meetings starting at 10 a.m. that ended at 3:30 p.m.
Yes. A good day of meetings.
That was me, Trey. I feel you, man.
Words not computing.
Yeah, it's not. I did an article on why I will not be buying tech until 2029, large tech purchases. Now I remember what that is. And then you guys can find me on the Age of Radio Discord, and you can find me just about anywhere on @Creator Trey. So that's all for me.
And I'm going to make sure to buy Trey a bunch of tech stuff every time something comes out and send to his house so that he can't do the thing that he's trying to do. What's the reason that you're trying to do?
Are you sabotaging Trey?
No, I'm not.
What am I trying to do?
I have to write. Everyone, no, don't tell us. Go and read the Substack. All right, guys. Again, my name is Jeremy. You can find me everywhere at Age of Jeremy. Make sure to check out merlincrypto.com and get 30-day free trial just by signing up. You don't have to use a special code because, frankly, I own the company, and we are trying to use the money that we make from that I get for this to move more into what we're doing here. So go, if you're into cryptocurrency, go get merlincrypto.com so that we can continue to do amazing stuff with Mercury and Age of Radio. You can also listen to my podcast, Age of Jeremy. It comes out most Tuesdays, wherever you get your podcast. And then I will be having some conversation live streams on Age of Jeremy with entrepreneurs here in the next couple of weeks, lining those up with my assistant, Erica. We will be at Game On the 13th, 14th, and 15th. We have a 10 by 20 foot space. So everybody come, feel free to hang out because we only have a banner that's 8 foot long, 10 foot wide, I think is what it is. I don't know. 10 foot wide banner. So there's going to be plenty of space, but Dustin wanted his own space. We're going to be playing Virtual Boy there. We're going to have Mario Kart games. So we're trying to do giveaways again. So it'll be really fun for all 3 of those days. And then we will be at WonderCon with Thermo on the 28th and 29th is when we're going to be there, even though WonderCon is the 27th, 28th, 29th. And then we're going to Disneyland. So make sure that you follow us so that we can make Dustin do stupid stuff at Disneyland. And if you don't know who Dustin is, this is Dustin. He's the producer and tech guy of our show. And we like making him do stupid shit live. With that, everybody, as I always say, be thankful, grateful, and kind. Join us next week for our regular show, and then join us at Game On and WonderCon. And at WonderCon, we'll be having to do Foam Talk segment somehow. We'll figure it out. But we'll be back with Danielle and Foam Talk. And again, this is Mercury, your home for podcasting and pop culture news. We'll see you next time. Bye.